Folks, this video is sponsored by Simply Safe. We're going into the holidays now, which means crime's going to go up and you need security. Right now, Simply Safe is giving 30% off their home security packages, as well as giving away a free HD camera. I've been using Simply Safe for years. I love that it has panic buttons I can stash around my house for my wife or kids to use, smoke detectors that will call the police, not just make noise while you're not home, flood detectors, integrated cameras, video doorbells, entry sensors, glass break detection. They have all kinds of great stuff. Guys, there's no hidden fees or contracts, so cancel anytime. Make sure you're protecting you and yours with a good Simply Safe alarm system. And now, without further ado, video time. Here we go. All right, hey folks, today I'm going to be interviewing a guy named Bedros Keuilian. This is the part 2 of a series that I have with him. If you didn't check out the first one, you find him escaping from communism, starting in the US with absolutely nothing and going from rags to riches. Today he's running one of the most lucrative franchises in the world, worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And he's got a lot to say about business leadership, acumen, and really moving the needle to help you move from where you're at and where you want to go. I learned a lot from him, and you're going to be blessed by him as well. Here we go.
But my reason why is because I need to prove the world wrong, and I want success to be my best revenge, and I use it for good. That's the only difference. I'm not a mean a-hole.
Right.
And so if you have a strong reason why, a compelling reason why, when things are tough, when the poop hits the fan, you will drive through. If you don't have a strong reason why, you will come up with an excuse. And I've abolished all of my excuses.
Got it. So right there, it's a passion that you've just kind of got. What if somebody, they're watching, they're in debt, they're unhappy with where their station is in life, whether it's vocation or their marriage or whatever. Sure. They really want to change. They don't really have that gut passion. Is there any hope for them other than you need motivation and passion, then get it? And he's like, but I don't have it. I'm like, but get it. Is there a way that we can kind of break out of that? Sure.
Your environmental exposure is everything. Like, I believe that we are a byproduct of our surroundings. There's a quote that goes, I'm going to butcher this, but you show me the 5 people, you show me the income of the 5 people around you, and I'll tell you what your income is going to be as the 6th person. Like, we are just environmentally influenced a lot. So if you're not a passionate person, you better start watching your channel, my channel. You better, if you have a training going on, if I have a workshop happening, you better show up. Right. And as you show up, this becomes contagious. Right. And all of a sudden, you're like, man, this person is definitive in the way he shows up. He's not a drifter in life. What am I definitive about? What can I be so passionate about? And it is contagious. We've been around people who are kind of low tone and negative, and soon you start feeling like there's a wet blanket on you.
Yeah, it sucks the soul, the energy out of me. They're just whiny, complaining. There's always an excuse. There's always a reason why not.
Yeah. And so maybe, and there's a great story I can align with this. In 2005, we had gotten married in 2003. In 2005, my wife's family takes us on an Alaskan cruise. And John, we were so broke, I would have never been able to go on that cruise with our own money. We didn't have any. And they take us to an Alaskan cruise, and this giant cruise ship stops at Ketchikan, Alaska. And we're walking along the water, and these fishermen are casting nets and then pulling in crabs, casting nets and pulling in crabs. And this one man, he's got a 5-gallon water bucket, and he's got some water in there and about 5 or 6 crabs, about the size of my hand, maybe bigger. And I'm just fascinated. My wife and I are watching him casting his net, catching crabs and putting it in the bucket. And I see in his bucket, there's this one ambitious crab crawling on top of all the rest, and he starts reaching for the rim of the bucket to pull himself up. And I wanted to be a good Samaritan. And I said, sir, your crab is about to make a getaway here. You might want to put that lid on it. He didn't even turn around as he's looking at the ocean, the bay there. He goes, watch what happens next, son.
I know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. That's great. I won't solve the riddle.
The crabs at the bottom reach down, grab this ambitious little crab by the hind legs, and pull it right down to the bottom. And in that moment, I'm smacking my wife's arm. I'm like, I've got crabs in my life. So the environment that you are around is either going to pull you down or lift you up in spirit, in standards, in everything. Change your environment. It will change your state.
That's awesome. So adversity is going to drive you forward. So having adversity in your past is helpful, but if you don't have it now, you can kind of ferret out some adversity as well. You do that with your Modern Day Night project, right?
Yes.
And that's to artificially kind of embrace some suck.
Yeah.
And that's real cool stuff. But that's a way that you kind of artificially interjecting some of that into men's lives, right?
Sure, for 75 hours. Yeah, these men literally pay to go through a 75-hour physical, mental, emotional suffering with built-in lessons on problem-solving, leadership, communication, and teamwork, which is all of life.
Yeah.
Like you, your wife, and your kids, your team. You have to problem solve through life.
Yeah.
You know, we want steak, now we want chicken, I want burgers. That's a problem, solve it, right?
A first world problem.
First world problems. Someone has to lead, so we need leadership. So someone has to lead. No, we're eating this and here's why. And you have to be able to be a great communicator to influence and persuade those people in the car or the home to where we're eating. Teamwork, communication, problem solving, and leadership. That's it. And so we create this. And people go, why do you create suffering and adversity in that way? Well, look, when you work out in the gym and you build your muscles, what are you doing? You are breaking down muscles. And as you break down muscles, the body goes, aha, John is lifting heavier weights. I will rebuild these muscles stronger and more resilient. So while we do that in the gym, whether on the treadmill or on the trail or in the weight room, when was the last time you built your adversity muscles, your decision-making muscles?
That's good.
There are many muscles in the body that we forget to build, and therefore they atrophy. And so if you put yourself in to a state of suffering and adversity by design, you will build those muscles.
I just got a mental picture of a fat indoor house cat that's just swelling up and can't hunt anymore.
Yeah.
And it's just bad for us to be comfortable all the time.
Correct.
That's real cool.
We're not designed for that. We are apex predators. We are meant to hunt.
That's very good. So how about without adversity, you're not going to go very far. Having some passion that you are pursuing, some reason
a purpose to live for, man.
That's great. Surrounding yourself with successful people, so you're hanging out with the type of people that you want to become.
And whatever your definition of success is, by the way.
Very good.
Yeah.
What's something else to really drive you? You're really hardcore in the economics and the business world, so try to craft answers. It can be a little bit wider spread, but particularly in that vein, do you have a fourth thing that'll help us really kind of...
Yes, I do. Make a lot of money.
How do you do that?
Make an obscene amount of money, and I believe we all should. And here's how. You figure out if you want to be an employee, because not everyone should be signing the front of the check. Plenty of people ought to be signing the back of the check. But if you have a skill set, and I will use this man right here, Ed, behind the camera, as an example. He's got a skill set that is so valuable to me that I was able to recruit him from Complex Magazine and bring him into my building because he's got an eye and he understands what I'm talking about and he edits the things. He's got a skill set that is so valuable, he solves problems that I have in exchange for an obscene amount of money.
That's great.
And so if you're just a regular videographer, you're not going to make that obscene amount of money. You're not going to have the opportunities in this building that I would provide. On the flip side, you want to be an entrepreneur. Be so good at solving a problem that people have that they are willing to give you money for it.
Right.
Why do we want to make an obscene amount of money? Simple. I used to be the guy when I was broke that would cross my arms and go, someone should do something about that.
Yeah.
And I realized very quickly, I can do that because all money is a vehicle to meaning. Right. And we all want fulfillment, significance, meaning. Money is a vehicle to meaning because I can serve Shriners Children's Hospital. I can give my team members enough money to go buy a home and pay off their school loans. But they have to, and there's the unpredictable things that happen. My mom 3 years ago got dementia, Alzheimer's. And if you know how dementia kills people, it literally erodes the part of your brain that stops you from breathing. And literally you suffocate to death.
Wow.
I don't want to see my mom experience that. And so I didn't plan on my mom having that, but I planned on having a lot of money for a rainy day.
Right. And
so we were able to get my mom with cash on experimental drugs that will prolong the onset of this dementia. She will die of old age and not through suffocation. Yep. And so that makes me feel good.
Love it.
And we need money to help to serve others. It's not always a weapon, a pistol, a rifle, and those come in handy, or a knife.
But let's get rifles and pistols as well. Don't let them.
Yes, lots of them.
Easy, careful.
Even here in California.
Whoa.
Yes.
All right, sorry, keep on going.
But right, I mean, can you to me, money is a weapon. It's a tool.
That's great.
And we need it. And I believe that more people can give your kids awesome experiences, man. Like take them, show them the world, make the world smaller for them, so that they understand the guy with this accent and with that skin color is just like me.
That's great.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's right. I love that you said that money is a vehicle that helps you accomplish the greater thing, meaning. Money isn't the meaning, and I think when it is, it becomes this little idol, and you're going to be miserable if money is the big meaning. I know some really miserable people that have none, and a lot more miserable people that have tons. Mm-hmm. And so you said everything in moderation.
Yeah.
Money would be fantastic and really nice, but we were talking about it in the truck last night, and I think we agreed on we want to have money, but we don't want money to have us.
Correct. We don't want money to be our identity.
That's
right?
fantastic.
And I love how you said it. We want to have money. We don't want money to have us. And the example you gave was with someone who, as they lose their money, because look, there's winning phases and there's losing phases in life.
I like that.
Right?
I like how you said that. That's great.
And as you go through a winning phase, know that the losing phase is coming. And if you're in a losing phase right now, know that the winning phase is around the corner. And when you lose, if your identity is tied to money, that's when you see people committing suicide, going to infidelity, alcohol, drugs, pornography. On the flip side, if you've got money, man, you use it as a tool to serve. And I think that's so important to be able to differentiate between it controlling your identity or it controlling this mission that you're on to serve.
That's awesome. The most fun me and my wife have with money is every month we're generous. We give to a lot of different causes. And so that's the slam dunk kind of offering thing of like local church, boom, foster care system, but it's crazy fun. So guys, if you aren't giving, figure out a way that you can give, and that keeps selfishness from having a hold on you, so that if you give money away, you earn a lot, but you also give a lot. We can have money without it having us.
To that point, we talked about this in the truck as we were coming back from dinner. Too much of anything is poison.
Right.
But I don't want people to take away from that, then, gee, I better not make a lot of money. Make a lot and then give a lot of it away, because so much power is intoxicating. Too much power is intoxicating. So too much of anything. You drink, the example I gave, you drink 5 gallons of water in one day, you will dilute the potassium, magnesium, and sodium in your body, your heart being a muscle, you will go into cardiac arrest and die. Yet your body is made of 70% water.
So don't drink water.
Right?
I got it.
Right, don't drink water. Water's for the weak.
Water's a crutch. I'm trying to quit.
Yeah. To that point, you've got aches and pains. You're going to take a few Advil, some Motrin. Go ahead and take a handful of Motrin and see what happens. You're going to burrow a giant hole in your gut. Too much of anything is poison, because as humans, I don't think we're designed to have that much power. And so we need to give it away when we get it.
I'm going to push back.
Yes, sir.
Philosopher here.
Sure.
So what about having too many guns? Huh? No such thing.
No such thing.
Nice try, Bedros. So your point in that way of like, let's just say for everything else, pretty good.
The poet.
Can't have enough guns, guys. Check, mate.
You got me again.
Stupid. So stupid. Everyone out there who's watching, they're like, oh, John's being John.
Hey, what do I do? Listen, I'm gonna throw something out here,
Sure.
and if I'm a viewer of your channel, then I'm sure I probably speak for them. How easy is it for a person like me to get a FFL license? Do you recommend that I get one?
Sure. Yeah, sure. So if you find yourself met with unconstitutional laws regarding your Second Amendment, if you can figure out how to game a system to circumvent those, that's pretty cool. So if you can get an FFL, that's pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, why
Living
not?
in California, I realize that might be a strategy.
Yeah, get
deploy.
an FFL. Do whatever you want. Whatever you can do. That's fantastic. I wanted to circle around. You said make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And we kind of walked around that a little bit to say, have money, but don't let it have you. It's good to have a lot of money. How to actually get it, though? And it looked like you the thing you really said was specify.
Yes.
Like your cameraman is really good, and that's to specify. Mm-hmm. We were on break just kind of walking around outside your office, and you said you were talking to a young gal who works for you, and her professor said switch jobs every 2 to 3 years. Yeah. Would you speak to that? What did you tell her?
And so as I was having coffee with her, trying to reprogram her, because she was programmed by socialism in college, I said, look, if you are switching jobs every 2 to 3 years, you will never accomplish mastery. And it is only when you accomplish mastery at a craft that you can charge or command a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so if you're constantly switching jobs, looking for that dream job, maybe what you have to do is find the dream things within the job you have and be so good at it that they constantly move you up the food chain. When I hire any position in this building. Recently we talked to a web developer and I said, hey, what does the average web developer make? And goes, about 85,000, 89, 85,000. I'm like, great, you could make multiple six figures here. Yeah. His jaw dropped. I said, only if you figure out how the web page is gonna load faster, convert higher, show up on every Google search that is relevant to our search terms. I go, so just understand that you are an intrapreneur in this entrepreneur's world.
That's pretty cool.
And he had this aha moment. I'm like, I will not pay you what industry standards is. I will pay you for the outcome you produce. So be good at something, at solving a problem that's keeping people awake at night, that people are crying themselves to sleep for, that people have uncertainty and fear about. And if you could be so good at solving those problems, the cream will rise to the top and you will get paid an obscene amount of money.
That's awesome. Now, Ed, right?
Ed
is your camera guy, and let's say he's just really, really good at it, as he is. Hey, good job, Ed. We're talking about you a lot. Did you know you were going to be so integral to this hangout? Way to go, bro. We're not going to pay him extra for it, though. Ed, sorry, bro.
Which, by the way, let me just toot his horn for a moment. He and Mainrad there were up with us for 75 hours running the project, the last 75 hours, and here we are now on a Saturday filming this.
Yo, Ed. Say hello, bro. Yeah, this is Ed.
The beast, Mainrad.
Very good, cool. So we got that's some professional camera stuff right there. You don't even know how I'm going to stitch that in, do you? Let's say Ed's working for you. He's doing awesome. He's been working real hard at his job, but man, he's just tired of it. He doesn't want to do it anymore. He really wants to do this other thing. And so he's been doing that on the side and stuff.
Sure.
What would be your advice to him of like, he's good at it, he makes a lot of money, but he's just not enjoying it?
Sure. Hey, listen, if you can't find enjoyment in what you're doing, it might be time to check out. It might be time to check out and find something else. So the beautiful thing is I call these Friday night projects. Start a Friday night project. Instead of going out to a bar and getting drunk and getting stupid or whatever it is, on a Friday night, start working on your side hustle, on your side business. And in fact, as I had Fit Body Bootcamp, and it's growing, it's like, you know what? We've got hundreds of thousands of clients worldwide who we probably send to GNC or some supplement store to buy supplements. I wonder if I had to start a supplement company. Friday nights were my time to work on doing the research. How do I make my supplements better, different, solve the problems that aren't being solved right now? Who is my client? I go narrow and deep, just like you do. You're looking for very specific people. I'd say probably 99.9% of your people are males, and they're probably very judicial, and they love the core values that you have and share, right? You're very narrow and deep in who you are. So we know that our Fit Body Bootcamp clients are not just the people paying $9 to $29 a month. They're paying $150 a month to work out at a Fit Body Bootcamp with a coach. They want a better product. And so I spent those Friday nights learning about supplementation, how it's made, how it's done, how it's marketed, how it's sold, what are the big pitfalls to make, to not do, to avoid. And I did that for a period of 13 months. And by doing that, I was able to launch out the gate successful. People go, man, it seems like you can catch lightning in a bottle. No, it's just you don't see. I'm like that bamboo plant. I'm growing under the dirt. You just don't see it. I just shoot up 30 feet overnight. Because of the work I did. And so I think more people can do that. If you're not happy with the job that you're in, you don't have to go to college anymore. Those days are gone. Go to YouTube, watch some tutorials. There's Udemy, there's so many platforms you can learn from. Ed is a master videographer, never went to school for cinematography. He is an amazing DJ. Anytime we travel somewhere, he'll be like, hey, B, I've got a gig there. So he'll do his thing for me, and then that night he's got a gig somewhere, and I feel cool because he gives me these coupons to sit at the bar, and I'm like, hey, I'm with the DJ that night. You know what I mean? Like, it's so cool. I just feel like the man, and I was never a popular kid, so I just feel like I'm the popular kid. But he's so good at being a DJ, he can land a gig anywhere we're going and get paid for it. And so that's the answer. But again, he learned from YouTube both of those skill sets.
That's great.
And then recently he and the wife bought a home, and he showed me pictures of his beautiful backyard with the pool and all this. I'm like, dude, that is amazing work. He's like, yeah, I watched some YouTube videos, went to Home Depot, bought the bricks, bought the thing, and did this.
No kidding. That's awesome.
So you can create a side hustle and ultimately make that your main hustle if you're willing to pay your dues.
Right, but it's a replace slowly when the new side hustle shows justification, because so many people, they work a job for 2 or 3 years and be like, this is not my call, this is not my passion, this is not where I'm happy. And I think folks are just looking to their vocation for a little too much inner fulfillment and meaning, when really it's other areas of your life that should be helping to fulfill. Not to say vocation doesn't fulfill at all, but especially as a dude, of like, I've got to be somewhat fulfilled there. But you would coach Ed to say, no, stay with what you're doing, grind it out, and when your side hustle is more lucrative and better than your main bread and butter, make the switch. But don't leap and just start over.
No. And this is why when people make the leap.
That's great advice. I love that. That's good.
How many places in society today do people make the leap? I'm done with this marriage. How about you try working on it again? Go back to dating your wife. Instead of just leaping out of it by going to a platform that lures you into pornography or finding the next Mrs. Right, who's only going to be Mrs. Wrong because you didn't do the self-work to grind it out. Right? And I think we are missing that. We are missing that desire to be that 20-year overnight success. Everyone wants overnight success now. I'm a 20-year overnight success. Put in the time, put in the work, and things will suck. And when they do, keep doing the work, and then it gets better again.
Got it. What's one last kind of nugget to really help us earn, to excel in the workplace and in business particularly?
The one last nugget is this, and I think we talked about this outside. Leadership was not factory installed for me. There's many people I believe leadership is factory installed for, and leadership was not factory installed for me. And I believe that leadership is always the problem, and leadership is the solution. You show me a problem in your life, and I will show you a leadership deficiency on your part. Now, most people don't want to hear that. It's like, hey, someone else's fault, my boss's fault, Obama's fault, Biden's fault, Trump's fault. How about you be the president of your life? You can actually have more influence as the president of your life than any president who's going to sit in the White House. And so
that's great.
Learn to lead yourself before you think about leading others. And leadership is about communication. It's about making decisions, and it's about learning to apologize. By the way, proper way to apologize: I'm sorry, I screwed up. Here's how I'm going to make it right. Or, I'm sorry, I screwed up. What could I do to make it right? And every time I've screwed up and I've apologized that way, no one's ever had a bone to pick with me because they saw the sincerity.
That's good.
And so come as a servant leader, be a great leader, lead yourself in discipline and mindset and family, etc. And when you do, it will solve many of your problems that you blame on other people.
That's awesome. Guys, I highly recommend Bedros' book, Man Up. I've read it. It was really, really good. Don't get this copy. This one sucks. Get this copy right here. On fire. These dad jokes, I can't turn them off. It's just so natural.
You're a killer. You're a killer.
It just flows from above and through. I think that's sacrilegious. Belay that. Never mind on that. Anyway, really good stuff, and we've stumbled upon some nuggets that you really go deeper into in your book, which I appreciate as well. How can folks find you?
Yeah, simple. BedrosKeuilian.com, or just on any social media platform at Bedros Keuilian.
Fantastic. Really, really appreciate it. Guys, we're going to do more with Bedros. We're going to try to get him on the network too, or we'll collaborate some way because, man, I dig you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I like your style, bro.
Likewise.
That's awesome. Thanks so much for being on the channel. Guys, train hard, train smart. We'll see you next time.